Okay, this video is on DNS name server settings. So what this means is that you're going to change the name server, the DNS name server information on your domain registrar to match the name server information from your web host. So you're pointing your domain name that you've registered, you're changing the information to tell it to point to your web servers. Okay, so this is name server settings. So what you would do, as you can see right now, I'm logged into the place where I have registered a couple domain names. The one that we're dealing with obviously is right here. As you can see, the name servers that are listed currently say ns1.dnsowl.com and ns2.dnsowl.com. These name servers here are the name servers for this website name silo. Okay, that just means that if you punch in that domain name, it's going to just bring up a page that is related to name silo. Okay, it's not pointing anywhere, it's pointing to them. Okay, so we need to change this information here, right? We need to change it to the name servers that our web host provides. Okay, so if you go back to your web host again being the place where you've got your WordPress instance installed, where we created that directory, we want to point our domain name from where we've registered it. We want to point it to our web host so that when people punch in this domain name or the domain name that you've registered, it's going to bring up your website on that web server. Okay, so if we go back to our web host, now you should be able, usually there's a spot, I don't see it off by hand, but usually there's a spot in your with your web hosting provider where they'll give you the details on the name servers as to what their name servers are. Typically, the name servers are like we showed here, right? So it's ns1 dot, whatever your hosting company's name is, .com. So ns1 dot hostmetro.com and then ns2.hostmetro.com, right? Just like this one here, ns1.hostmetro.com, ns2.hostmetro.com. That's it. That's all that's required. I'm going to show you how we do that. But if you're having problems locating that information, then you may just have to go into your cPanel or contact and find a support tab and contact your web host and just ask them for the details of their name servers. Okay, and then they'll give you those details, and then you can go in and point your domain name to the web host. Okay, so in this case, I know the domain name. I know that the name servers are ns1.hostmetro.com and ns2.hostmetro.com. So we're going to go to this domain. We're going to find our domain. We're going to go to it. We're going to go up to here to where it says change name servers. This is the easiest way to do it. Okay, changing the name server information is the easiest way to do it. That's the way that I usually always do it. There is another way to change, to point your domain name, but it involves something called changing the records, changing DNS records. It's a little bit more complicated. And basically, it's just a little different way that the domain points. But we're just going to deal with this one. So you go up to change name servers. And then in here, you're going to change these. So we don't have to worry about the third one since we don't really have a third one. Just go in, highlight them. I know that it's, like I said, ns1.hostmetro, because hostmetro is the name of my web server, the name of my web hosting company. So it's ns1.hostmetro.com, and then we're going to change this to ns2.hostmetro.com. And you typically always have to put a minimum of 2 name servers in there. Sometimes there's more, but you have to have 2 in there, right? So typically it's ns1 dot whatever your web hosting company is, and then ns2 dot your web hosting company name.com. Okay, so that's it. So then you go down here, you hit submit. What it's showing up here is just that we're changing the name servers for this domain. So you want to make sure you're on the right domain. But anyways, so once you've got those details in there, double check them, make sure that they're correct, and then just hit submit. Now, if you read the information up here, it's saying typically that the name servers typically take between 1 to 48 hours to fully propagate. So in other words, to update themselves so that that domain name will no longer point to Namesilo, but it will in turn point or redirect itself to your web host where you've got your web files. Okay? So it could take, I've seen it take 10 minutes. I've seen it take an hour. I've seen it take 24 hours. So we'll see. But when I do come up with the next video, we should have access to our website by punching in that domain, how to create a website, and profit.com. And then we'll be able to log into the WordPress admin area, and then we'll create some videos to explain the back end of WordPress. And as you can see, we already have the name servers have already updated. I refreshed, and it literally took 5 minutes with these guys. I don't even think it was 5 minutes, but it's showing that the name servers have updated there. And so if I go up here and I put in how to create a website, which I did, and profit.com, there's the WordPress template, the temporary template that we have up. So that's it for this video. I'm going to create another video now. We're going to go log in, show you how to log into WordPress. We're going to go on the back end, and then we'll start taking a look around in there and creating some videos to show you how to build your pages and posts. Okay?